Hey everybody, welcome to Great Sand Dunes National Park, home to North America's tallest piles of sand and the rugged Sangre de Cristos Mountains behind them. One of the first written records about the Great Sand Dunes was made by a guy named Lieutenant Zebulon Pike, who besides sounding like a character from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, also noted that the dunes appeared exactly as a sea in a storm, except for the color. Having explored this 330 square mile deposit of sand, I can tell you that the good Lieutenant Zebulon was onto something. The dunes do have a very stormy aesthetic, and that's only appropriate because the valley in which they're located gets clobbered by thunderstorms virtually every day in the summer. Speaking of nature in all of its menacing glory, one of the things that stood out to us at Great Sand Dunes is the fact that the park and the preserve are at the same time formidable and family friendly. And that is because there are 7 different life zones here. You've got everything from the dry dune fields to lush grasslands to the steep, snowy alpine tundra. Now, you can come down to Medano Creek and watch toddlers splash around in the water and build their mud castles, or you can take your 4-wheel drive vehicle up into the preserve and hike a 13,000-foot peak. That wilderness is no joke either. It can get, to borrow a word from the local Colorado dialect, pretty gnarly. The day we got here, we watched mountain rescue evacuate a body of a hiker who had recently perished up on one of the mountains. The park and the preserve are open year-round, but the best times to come here are in the spring and fall. Temperatures won't be too sweltering, thunderstorms will be less frequent, and the crowds won't be as bad. Most people, including us, come here sometime between Memorial Day weekend and Labor Day weekend. Great Sand Dunes has a reputation for being one of the quietest parks in the lower 48 states. That should give you an idea of just how removed the park and preserve are from civilization. Now, if you're coming from the north, take I-25 to US 160, and then at some point hang a right onto Colorado 150 North, just short of Alamosa, the next closest town. If you're coming from the south, US 285 is the way to go. Entry into the park costs $15 per vehicle. There is a campground inside, plus you can get a backcountry permit to go camping either in the dune field or up in the mountains. Now, besides our blog, of course, the Visitor Center is your one-stop shop for information. You can sign up for ranger programs there, peruse the exhibit, plus it's also the starting point for a nice short loop that'll give you a good introductory overlook of the dunes. Now for the fun part. What can you do here? I mentioned wading through Medano Creek and letting your offspring, if you have any, play in the mud. From there you could hike to the top of Star Dune, and when it comes time to come back down, take the sled that you rented at the general store and surf your way down to the bottom. Board rentals are $20. There are a few more hikes around the dunes, but up in the Sangre de Cristos wilderness is where you will find the most adventurous hikes. To get there, you have to take the Medano Pass Primitive Road, which is fun not only because it's only accessible with 4-wheel drive, but you have to let some air out of your tires, otherwise you're likely to get stuck in the soft sand. And once you're up in the preserve, there's Music Pass, Medano Pass, Cottonwood Pass, Lower Sand Creek Lake, Upper Sand Creek Lake, and all sorts of other ways to scratch your itch for adventure. The best advice for anybody planning to visit Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve is to get up early. Afternoon thunderstorms are a near daily occurrence, and they can take you by surprise. So if you're doing any alpine hiking, plan to be on the summit by noon. If you want to know where you can walk through an ice-cold river to a hidden waterfall, or what it felt like for us to have our prayers answered during a sudden lightning storm, or where you can find an almost free campground with free RV hookups, or if you just want to meet Nina, then find us on social media or visit our website, H5Travelers.com. My name is Chris. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.